Hey there, it's Rennkamel again, and welcome back finally to Koali Beach. It's been quite a while since the last episode because of a few things. But first of all, let's say hi to DeLadysigner.
Hello.
Hello. How are you
How
doing?
are you?
I just was about to ask the same. I'm fine. What about you?
I'm okay. Tired, as always.
Yeah, story of our lives.
Yeah.
I'm also a little bit tired, but anyways. Yeah, we have to excuse Mr. Silvarret, right? Because he's on holidays.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, well-deserved holidays for Mr. Evergreen Silvarret.
Oh, yeah. He's to Germany, right?
Austria, I guess. Wasn't it Austria?
Was it? Oh, I am not sure now.
But anyways, he's getting a lot of inspiration and will blow us away afterwards again. I'm pretty sure about that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure about that too.
But yeah, I think we still have to say that last time there wasn't an episode basically because of Efteling, right? The great meetup.
True.
And
yeah.
But I think we won't talk too much about this right now because you've seen already on Lady's channel the vlog. If you haven't, go there and watch it.
Where's your vlog?
I'm still preparing it. Sorry, I just lost a lot of footage and I have to deal with a lot of different material now. And yeah, basically I had no time. That's it. But it will come at the end of the week, I guess. Somehow, maybe. Not gonna promise anything. But as you may have seen, guys, we are not in the footage yet because I needed to explain something when we start. So as we go into the footage now, you can already see that we are starting right off with something really different than usual. So as you know, we do have billboards in the game now, and I wanted to try something for quite a while already, and now it's the chance to do so. So as you can see, I'm preparing something over here, which honestly I figured later on you don't actually need to do the green screen, but you will see it's a little bit more easy than later on in post-production to change the stuff. But as you can see here, I'm posting those billboards in the middle, taking the security cam to take one photo each with the kind of area, and then we are in Photoshop already. And as you can see now, you can pretty easy then grab the texture itself, which will be then exactly on the same size and color and stuff like that as the usual texture which we had then below this. And what I just did, I grabbed quickly a texture from the internet of a little bit of a puddle, and I just, as you can see right now, I just did a little bit of post-production in Photoshop to kind of make this thing look as if our wood is wet over there, which would be pretty, I mean...
I'm so jealous that you are so good in Photoshop. I wish I could do stuff like this.
No, it's actually not that hard. But as you can see here, we do have a little bit of a problem, I have to say. It's still not fixed, I guess, because the color won't be accurate. So it will definitely be brighter than the in-game color is, even though I took the image directly from the game. But yeah, so you will have to play a little bit around with brightness, saturation, and overall contrast.
That's so smart.
But at the end, and you will see at the end, I guess this time I'm doing a quick live comment after our commentary, I guess. A little bit of a overview in real time, because otherwise it's hard to show by... It's hard to show by screenshots, I guess. So I'll do this. But you will see later on how this is possible. I also tried to make some wet sand over here. But I figured that it is not easy because the ground is not flat.
Yeah. Oh, that's true, yeah. Oh my gosh, this is so inspiring.
Okay, and I'm not going to tell what I'm going to do now because
I want
you to tell me what I'm going to do. Let's see how long it takes until you figure what I'm going to do over here.
But then I'm gonna be quiet and just watch it, because I'm like, what is this?
Okay, so in the meantime,
I'm serious.
I'm maybe just talking to you a little bit about Efteling also.
Do that.
Because
Efteling
was amazing. I mean, like, I expected it to be a great day, but in the end it was an even better day. I seriously didn't want to leave at all. It was amazing. Yeah. And like
the day was too short, even though we were there for like 13 hours or something.
Yeah, it was crazy, and it felt like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. It was.
It was really an amazing day to meet like everyone, Aspirately and Piece of Prestige, Silvarret, of course, to see him again.
Yeah.
Ed and Bo, and all these awesome people. It was so nice.
Yeah. And it's you know, it's pretty strange. I mean, like Sylv, you and I, we already knew each other, but as well as Bo and Ed, but most of the others, we all of us, we didn't know them, you know. We just knew them from chatting and having some talks in Discord and stuff.
I met some people. We met some people at Gamescom and at the launch
Yeah,
party.
of course, a few, but not all of them. Like
a few,
SP
yeah,
Ridley or
not.
so.
It really was so cool.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Was
I
so
haven't been
awesome.
on... Okay, maybe I'm talking for me, because I haven't been on launch party. Still a little bit pissed.
Let's not talk about
Maybe-
that.
Yeah, I needed to go to Thailand. I'm sorry. Oh, by the way, we do have a little bit of a break in the video. I made this on purpose to explain you kind of a little bit on this stage, so I have to get in here. I'm kind of doing something, and I just missed something, which I'm going to talk to you later on in the real-time section, because if I would have done it 110% correctly, I needed to bring in a billboard over here as well, where I made the break. But this was just a little bit of a reminder for me to tell you guys that we will have later on something important to talk about on there.
That's so funny. Like, if I may do one guess at this point, I don't know if it's right, but are you gonna make some kind of lagoon aquarium-ish
Yes.
thing? Awesome! Oh, sorry.
Did you just scream? Oh, you did. I did.
That's so
I
cool.
just heard a loud sound in my ears.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but I was like hyped.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. So I was thinking of this for months already. I had so many ideas to do this just with my little simple art shape stuff. I was already trying around with that, if I can make a kind of a working front glass of a aquarium and just make a seriously crazy artwork out of simple pieces and simple shapes. But that was just, I started it, and after the first square meter I just reckoned, okay, that's just way too much work. But at the moment where we knew that there will be animated billboards, I was like completely hyped about this, and I already did this kind of little video to explain you guys what would be possible with billboards. I honestly didn't tell everything because I wanted to hold something back for this episode. So basically what I'm doing over here is a very zoo-inspired thing. So we all know, I don't know if you all know, but I think...
Plain Coaster Safari.
Yes, Planet Safari, it's just right.
Oh yeah, sorry.
But I was just assuming that most of you guys already all know, like Zoo Tycoon, and this is basically what I'm going to take here as an inspiration, because back in the days I also enjoyed these little water shows with like whales and sharks, and you know, and something I did back then as well was kind of to try, but it wasn't that easy. But now we can, like these little, you go a little bit downstairs to be able to watch from the side of a lagoon or of a swimming pool in the end, to watch the animals swim by. You can just go there and watch the animals, and you can see like how the sharks are swimming around, and basically stuff like that.
I love that. Yeah.
And now we are coming to something which already hit the internet quite hard, I guess. I do have to say this. I wasn't expecting that it is going that quick. But yeah, we are coming now to the lagoon itself. And I had this in mind also for quite a long time to do this. I had a few talks already beforehand with some people. Like I didn't talk to him, but I knew that Aston Wolf was also trying around with a little bit of different shapes to come around with better water, and he was also the first one to kind of rage about this. But yeah, as you can see, same trick over here as I used before with the wet textures. You can also go there and place the billboards in. The reason why I made it in different colors is that I needed to see later on in Photoshop where I have to make the transitions, because I made this custom. Like, it's not a prefab texture. I grabbed a few and made this custom. I don't have the footage of it because it's also some of the footage which is lost. But you will see later on how the textures work out.
You keep us like so excited, like, oh my gosh, I see like billboards everywhere, and I just want to know how it will look.
Yeah.
Like, and then you go to another part, I'm like, no, I want to see how it looks.
Yeah, basically.
That's terrible, that feeling.
Sorry
like,
for that. But yeah, now I'm getting into a part which I thought about this for quite a long time, because I am going to build a coaster in a park where Silvarret is also a part of it. I mean, I did this with the dive coaster as well, but here we are with another coaster, which Sylv might just grab and redo again.
Oh yeah, probably. Not that I don't think it's good enough, but I know so.
No, honestly, I thought about doing a kids coaster because this was something which has been asked a lot of times, or many times in the comments within the last episodes, and I honestly wanted to finally get your voice heard. The comments voice heard because people were just like, screaming for a new coaster, and I wanted to do a kiddie coaster, but to be honest, I'm a little bit bored by the kiddie coaster. We have just this dragon thing, and the other one is this caterpillar kind of thing, which I think is it's overused already a little bit. So I thought, okay, let's do a mine train, which is effectively. And there was, by the way, the cut where I lost the footage. But I just to finish up this little thoughts over here,
Oh, there are the billboards.
Oh yeah, okay. Maybe just go into the billboards before talking about the coaster again.
Oh, so
but there you can see same problem as talked about before. They are too bright. So you will see now, and this is also why I left this in. You will see now in a few seconds that I'm going to do something with my mouse in the background, which is just adjusting the colors of the texture. So I reduced the brightness by over 60%. Which is crazy, and as you can see now, they look perfect then. But for some reason, one of those didn't work, and I had to kind of try around a little bit. I don't know. I think there has to be a little bit of a patch going on. So Frontier, if you're listening, please look into it. It would be pretty awesome if we can use the same color profile as it is in Photoshop, because it's kind of strange because those textures. I mean, it's even not always the same value. It's
looks beautiful.
Yeah. And I also, this is not the final version of the texture. I also tweaked it a little bit to the end, and I tried around with different colors. But
is it like a picture, or is this like a small movie it is moving?
Well, I have to explain. So first of all, it might look a little bit strange in the time lapse now because you can't see the water moving because I'm in paused mode. But if you are not in paused mode, if you're in live, it looks beautiful because the water is suddenly moving, and it just the reflection on the water, they meet up with the reflection on the texture. This is also why I left the reflection in the texture in. And but you guessed it right. I had the idea to do it with a movie before. So I grabbed my texture and moved it slightly from the left to the right and from up to down. And just to make this kind of raw water effect. But the problem is performance. I mean, even with your monster computer, you won't be able to play the game. It dropped from 26 to 4 FPS.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy.
With a movie?
Yeah, with the
on a billboard?
with the 4 movies. It's the biggest billboard, and I guess it has the biggest effect. So I just, but it looks a lot better, but it does look amazing already without being animated. So you can go and.
But it is really disappointing, I must say.
But I mean, I'm pretty sure they will fix it because it also seems to be a little bit random because we will later on have some movies going on in this part, and they work perfectly. They don't have too much.
So curious what you made up.
Too much effect on it, but yeah, as you can see now, I'm doing a little bit of terraforming.
I must say that. Oh damn! I lost the word. Turtle, it's awesome.
The terrain turtle. Oh, I have to say, little sideline story over here. This is actually the second turtle I made because I lost the first one, and the second one is way worse than the first. The first one was, I have to say, I'm not that often happy with my work, but the first one I was pretty happy with, and the second one is kind of good. But it's not as good as the second one. The first one was. So I decided in the end to do a little bit with foliage and some scenery pieces to improve it, and I think I'm happy with the results so far. And
but it sucks so much when you lose like everything you did.
Yeah,
because definitely. Was it because of this footage that crashed, or Planet Coaster crashed?
Planet Coaster crashed, and I somehow couldn't restore my file, even though it was AV. But
that's terrible.
The thing is, I never had a crash before, and this crash seems to be every time you do the same action. And the action, so people, I wouldn't recommend to click the button in the sequencer where you can select all your VFX effects, and because there is an option to select all your VFX effects within one group of the sequencer, and then you can move them. But in the second where I tried to move them, the game crashed. So I thought it was just one, but I tried it a few times and it always crashes when I hit this.
Oh, that's terrible.
This toggle. So yeah, in the end it was a little bit disappointing, but because I was making something. Okay, I'm gonna say this as well, because that was again another idea with the billboards. I figured it would be nice to have a little bit of a water play for kids. You know, always in those parks you have this little area where some small fountains are within the path, and when kids running through, the water splashes upwards, you know, and kids just running through it. And what I did was I made kind of this little area with some fountains going on, and I just aligned this with a movie on a billboard, which was the ground texture. And every once in a while, when the splash was going up, I made a water decal appear, so that the path was kind of wet. And I just let it run for half an in-game hour, and then it was disappeared, and then the fountains went up again, and it was wet again. You know, it looked pretty decent, I have to say. But I also lost the entire stuff, and unfortunately, and that was the biggest problem, I just didn't lose the in-game footage, which wouldn't be too bad, but because then I would have the movie. But I also somehow, for some strange reasons, I also lost the movie I made, because it was on my MacBook, and yeah, I don't know why, but anyway. But yeah, over here you can already see I'm going to do the queue line just briefly, because this won't be finished at all. I leave the station open this time because it was just too much stuff to do. But I also, again, my billboards. I think billboards will be my new best friends in the game. You will see me later on place them down as a kind of texture already prepared. Here you can see it now. I just moved them in already, so we can have some custom ground texture over here. I thought it might be a little bit more interesting than having always the same ground texture. So maybe we can try around with some bamboo or so. That would be nice.
Oh, you didn't place anything? You just placed the billboards?
Yeah, I just placed the billboards.
Oh, okay. I was like so curious. Like, what is he gonna use? What kind of texture?
I just because I figured I had to finish up the lagoon area first. So
yeah, I can imagine. You put in so much work. You lost so much work. So I can't really imagine that you were like tired to build this station or anything.
Yeah. I mean, fortunately, I haven't built the station beforehand, so I just decided to leave it out. And yeah, I just made this little train over there a little bit more colorful than usually, because I thought like a little bit of a Honolulu train kind of thing. And I will also place down some flowerish fences later on, and some little flags, you know, like a little bit as you would imagine it from Hawaii or Honolulu or so. That was kind of the idea of this little mine train. So it's like really, I think it does fit, kind of. It's not, you know, I mean, usually mine trains are a little bit like alpine or so. But I think it would also fit like in the volcano-ish, whatever area.
I mean, like, I get what you mean.
Volcano-inspired terrain, whatever area. But yeah, as you can see, this is what I already said, just like making the turtle look a little bit more nice. I think that works quite well, yeah.
Totally.
Make some
wow. I'm like seriously distracted of your video. I'm so sorry.
No, it's no problem.
It's so cool. I really like it.
Yeah,
I hope I will try to do next one.
Oh yeah, it's your turn, right? I totally forget who's next or whatever. We just passing it like who's able to do something here? You get it.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, but Silva's gone, so let's just do it.
Silva's gone. That sounds like okay, Silva's gone.
He will be back. He will be back. But for now, it's just the two of us.
Right.
Yeah. All right. I'm so curious how everything is gonna look when all the billboards are in place.
Oh yes, it does look.
Oh
nice.
Yes.
I mean, you can't see the cinematics now. That's a pity, right?
Oh.
And you even
you
even can't see the real time.
Oh damn it! I want to see it.
So you have to rewatch our episode.
Yes, I have to. Oh, damn it.
Yeah. By the way, this
but
is
I'm
my
really-
new favorite fence.
yeah.
I have to say. Just watch it. This will be my. I mean, it's so simple, but in the end, I love this one the most. It's just this little, ropes in between with those little flags, but it kind of, I don't know.
So cute.
It looks like really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like that. It's really cute with all these flowers and stuff.
Yeah, I try to make like a little bit more of an interesting area around here. So like the terrain itself is not that heavily themed, but it's it's terrain conforming, and I think the terrain makes the most of the experience of this mine train coaster. And I have to say, I'm for my taste, I'm just trying to point that out now. For
your
my
taste, yeah.
I really do like the mine train. I really have to say I like it.
I like it too.
And
you don't hear me criticize it at all. Because I just can't do these things.
Yeah, it's like
I
I kind of thought it might be cool to do so, because like I honestly think that mine train coasters they can be so differently in terms of layouts, because like there are of course, before people are now going in and kind of rant at me, of course they do follow some rules, of course they do, and for example like how they're banked, and that most of the times they don't have that tight curves and just like long curves, and I mean, they also can have multiple lift hills, which is for other coasters not that usual. But I kept it with one lift hill in this coaster because, as I said, this will be a family ride. It's not that kind of crazy coaster, and so I thought I just wanted to go with one lift hill. This is also why it loses a lot of speed at the end. So this helix over here is already kind of slow. But as I said, it won't be like targeted for the really smaller kids and for their parents, for example, and just looks nice. That's basically the idea of this mine train. But I tried to kind of use a lot of well-known elements, for example, like this little drop at the beginning and going into a left-handed helix is basically stolen from Big Thunder Mountain, and we have got this little turn is from Colorado Adventure, and there are a few things I just directly stole from actual mine trains and tried to do it in a way a mine train would be. Here and there the turns are maybe a tiny little bit too tight, but I hope I think it's kind of nice.
I think it's perfect, and let's just wait what Sylph will do. Because he's the master. Did he make like a tutorial of this mine train?
Not yet, I guess. Not yet, Mr. Sylph.
Oh, okay. So we should blame him.
Yeah, I couldn't do it any better because there was no tutorial.
Totally blame Sylph.
Let's blame Sylph.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm sorry, guys. Let's just blame Sylph. No, but it looks so good, and I'm so curious how that like what's the name again? I lost it again.
Your name? I know your name.
The aquarium.
The aquarium.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so curious how it will look. Like, what kind of animals are in? Are there sharks or
fishies and sharks, and I don't know if there's a turtle in. I have no idea. It's okay. Maybe I have to. Maybe I have to say I will redo the video somehow, because now it's prefab. I found this on Giphy, I guess. It's basically a GIF which I enlarged to a video. But I look into it to make it custom later on. I have basically the best idea how to do it is to make a photo of your lagoon area from like inside the water and take this as the background and animate some animals in, and just do the same thing
that would be so cool,
vice versa to make this from the inside look like people would be standing in front of the glass. But honestly, that's so much work because you have to do those photos all the way around and have to animate this. And first of all, you need to have kind of suitable animations of those animals. And okay, while I'm talking about this, I can go even more crazy now because I tried the same for the lagoon itself. I animated a shark on top of the texture of the lagoon, the ground texture. So I grabbed myself a shark from like looking from above, like really the shape of the shark, and made a little bit of a shadow underneath it so that the entire billboard gets a little bit of depth. you know.
Uh-huh.
And then I animated the shark to let it swim over the different billboards. And
No way.
but as I said, this killed the performance. Like, what? And it was just one shark. I would have had to animate like fishies and sharks. And the thing is, as soon as I find, or maybe if you guys do have a pretty nice source where I can find like prefab, how's it called, animations of this, that would be awesome. Because building it together, it would be nice. But there we go.
Oh, yes, there they are.
Yes, there they are.
Oh, cool.
But as you can see, this is again why I left the little paws in. They are also so bright. So it's not just about
I see it.
The textures. The videos are also too bright. So I actually had to make the videos darker. And honestly, that's a little bit... I mean, like, with textures, it's not that bad. Okay, I can deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, for videos, that really sucks. Because you have to render the whole video again, like in a darker shape. And if that's not the perfect darkness, you know...
You need to do it again.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
And this is really... It kind of sucks, because it is, in general, it is a lot of trial and error. And next aquarium going on, by the way. A smaller one over here. This is pretty nice, I have to say. This one, I really like this one, because I won't change this one. I found this... footage, and I think you can immediately take this because it's perfect. It's just the perfect size. It's from in terms of colors, it's already pretty accurate, and it has to be a little bit more brighter because it's definitely because it's a closed aquarium. Yeah, so it's pretty lit, I guess. And the lagoon isn't. You know, that's basically the problem why I needed to make this a little bit more dark. Oh, a lot of stuff to explain in this episode.
Oh, but it's so beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, I hope you guys as well. I'm really curious to see what you guys think. I have to say, I mean, like, I do like the lagoon as well, but I will also show you guys that later on in the real-time section as well. My biggest success, I would say, in this episode is kind of the decals, like the wet texture. If I get the brightness done correctly, I mean, that's for me the biggest game changer. We can now make so nice, like, you know, if there is, for example, this ground path, as you can see here, you can just go in and make the texture of it, a little bit dirt on it, or just make a little bit of, water on it, or whatever you want. You can just make some little slight textures, and because you took the texture from the in-game texture, it will blend perfectly into each other, so you can't see that there is, maybe you have to cover it up with some pipes or so, as if,
I wish we had like an option that you could just upload your textures and stuff to the workshop.
Yeah, that would
be
amazing.
You can download it from others. I haven't tried it myself yet, so I don't even know where to place them.
Oh yeah, that's just a folder called user media. And if you go to your documents and then you go to Frontier Developments, and there's a folder called user media and user music, and you have to put it into user media. But by the way, Frontier, if you're listening, second time in this video, it would be nice if the user media folder could handle folders itself, because it can't handle folders. And I just threw in all the textures, and I don't know for which textures for which park, and like that would be nice.
True.
But yeah, you could see me exchanging those billboards. I took non-lits before, but I had to use some lit ones because at night it definitely would be lit. So there we go.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I also tried to spend a little bit of a look into the lighting this time, because Sylv started with it last episode, and I thought, like, okay, you can't do it completely without. So it's not finished, but I did a little bit of it, work of it.
Awesome.
Oh, and by the way, one thing to say, because I don't know if it's definitely not in the footage. I turned around the flat ride in the party area because so many people were complaining about this last episode in the comments.
Oh, really?
And totally deserved, because I just didn't notice it. There was like the flat ride, and I just turned it. And it was like the wrong way. If you're so deep into it and you just don't see it, and as you guys told this, I was like, of course, damn, you dumb camel. So I did turn it around, and I will show it if I remind myself, then I do show it in the real time. But here you go.
Show it.
Let's have the beautiful
that's
lit
looking
lagoon.
beautiful.
Isn't that looking great? I have to say, I wasn't
And then
expecting
you
that,
just
but
put the lights against the billboards, right?
Yes.
So they lit up.
yeah, and there we go.
Awesome.
That was this episode,
I
guys.
can't wait for the cinematics, and you guys are already watching it. Damn it!
Yeah, right. The cinematics will be in now, and then we will have the real-time part after it. Great.
Awesome.
Cool.
Oh, I can't wait. This is so beautiful, Rudi. Thank you so much for all the inspiration for this
you're
episode.
welcome.
So
I
cool.
just, it was a pleasure to do so. And honestly, if I would have had more time, so if there wouldn't have been university in between, I think I might have done an episode of 1 hour or so.
But you did so many already. It's
I just
beautiful.
couldn't stop. I mean, like, I would have loved to go on with those decals. I have so many more ideas, and I'm also looking into doing a video this week just focused on billboards. Like, just focused on
Yeah, please do that for me, because I really need help with that.
Like, there's
and maybe other people as well.
I mean,
Like, I probably know how to use them because you put it in a folder, but like, there are so many ideas, but my head just can't handle it. So I'm just like blacked out with the billboards.
Oh, I guess if you once get into them, you get so many ideas. And honestly, at the moment, it's now about timing, and I think performance-wise, it's still a little bit of a problem. But I'm entirely sure that Frontier will fix that pretty soon. I don't get me wrong, I don't know about anything, but as we do know them quite good, they will do so, and I'm pretty sure they're already looking into it. Because honestly, somehow, I don't know exactly how it is kind of programming wise, but in the end, it's just a video playing. So, I don't know if that makes sense, but maybe it could be rendered a little bit different than the general game engine is rendered. I mean, if you place down 1 million video walls with animated video, that makes sense that it's now affecting performance. But if you have like, let's say 10 or so in one park, that shouldn't be a big of a problem, because it's just playing the video and not having to deal with pathfinding, like, for example, like how the guests are made, or like the coaster, which is animated like hell. It's in the end, I think it's there should be a good solution to this, and I'm pretty sure they will fix it.
Yeah, probably. I totally believe they will.
But yeah, thanks so much that we could do this. I was so happy that we do the commentary right now, and I hope to get it out by today as well. So it might be pretty late, but after this I'm going to do immediately the live section and then just render it down. And I hope that it will be finished. And guys, that might be the longest episode of Koali Beach ever, because we are now already like 32 minutes in, and still a few to come. So,
oh well, people like it probably.
Hopefully they do.
And if not, that's too bad.
Yeah, then I'm really sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
That you and we did our best with the commentary. You did your best with playing. But I can't believe that people don't like this awesome idea and how it looks. It's beautiful.
Well, let's see. I think there are a few people waiting for it, how I did this. But so they might be a little bit disappointed that I don't have the footage in how I created the lagoon texture. But maybe no, I'm going to tell this in the real-time section, because that makes sense.
Do that. Yeah. Please make the video for me as well.
All right. So thanks, lady, for being here. And
thank you for having me.
Let's both of us now wave at Sylv and wish him a pleasure time, or a fun time in his holidays. And
bye, Sylv.
Bye, Sylv. And bye, guys. See you then in the next one.
Bye, guys.
Alright guys, here we are now in the real-time section, as I promised. So this is also... Alright, that was a little bit of a lag. Well, we will have to deal with this. But this is something I promised, and this is also something I haven't done, or we haven't done in Koali Beach so far. So here you can see our little area around the little swimming pool. And you can see over here I made this little wet texture. It's not perfect, as I said, but let's just turn on the water for a second. There we go. I have to make pause so that the frame rate is at least kind of nice. So as you can see here, this is the texture going on. As you can see, it's looking from far away, it's looking kind of nice. It's a little bit repetitive because I made the entire one now already a little bit better, but I will have to deal a little bit more with it. But you can see over here that this is not perfectly aligned for whatever reason. I mean, like in terms of size, in terms of the position, in terms of the texture itself, it's 100% perfect. I just managed to make it 100% perfect, as I said with the little trick. Honestly, this has to go over there, by the way, as well, because I made this, wait, where are we? There we go. This is actually from over here, as you can see. And if you then move it in and align it perfectly, so like, there we go. Yeah, maybe we have to make this a little bit more down, like this, and we would have to raise them up. But there we go. Maybe we just put it over here. Okay, you can see it's pretty nicely working, even though we would have to make those go up a little bit. I'm not doing this right now. But you can see over here it works. So the problem now is, first of all, the image is, for whatever reason, not high quality. It can be better quality, I'm pretty sure about it. I haven't figured what it is exactly, because the texture itself is over, I think it's 2000 by 2000 pixels. Well, not exactly, because it's a different ratio, but you know what I mean. But as you can see, I have a lot of different ones in here, like wood 1, 2, 3, and you can see this is the version, like this is the version without changing the brightness, and this is pretty strange actually. This one, the wood long one, is the already changed one. And as I said, this is lowered by 60%, and if I go even lower, it has the same brightness as those, but it doesn't match. It's, you know, it seems a little bit washed out, even though it isn't. That's, yeah, and if I raise the contrast of it, it doesn't really work so well, because then you get those little artifacts, which you can already see over here. So yeah, I will have to look into it a little bit more, so to get it done a little bit better. I also try to embed the sRGB profile, which doesn't work properly for me. I heard some people saying it is working. For me it isn't, for whatever reason. But yeah, I think the basic idea about this, you can already tell, and it's working like beautiful, you know. Just look from over here. It looks like if the wood would be wet, it would look even better if you have a little bit of a different texture overall. I also started to do this, but yeah, that's it about this area. And now let's move into the new area. Where are we? That's a little dive machine. But here we are now in the lagoon. And now I think most of you are curious to see how it's in play mode, so I wait a second, I turn off the controls. You can see it's lagging a little bit. But there we are, and you can see the fishies are swimming in here, and I think that looks just ridiculously amazing. I mean, just look at it. It's also a little bit repetitive. I also thought to make this a little bit different, but I just have this footage. So what you could do is kind of make this forth and back in terms of the background, and just try to get the fishies out to make it not like this cut over here. You can see it jumping. The same happens over here, as you can see. Also, same thing over here. The this one is pretty sharp in a way. It's okay. It's not totally sharp, but this one over here is a little bit washed out as well. I think if you do look from this way over here, it's kind of nice. I also figure right now, because of the sun, it would be nice to have a parasol kind of thing going on in front of here. Maybe I'm going to do this in the next episode. Anyways, and you can see those are obviously the same. So what I would have to do now is to go in and change the you know, the movement of those. So for example, if this one is swimming over here, it now has to join over here, so it has to be aligned in a way. But since it's coming from the down part over here, it would be a little bit, you know, I just made this for now. So if we just would look at those two, I think it's just working fine as it is right now. And you definitely have to tell that they should be moving in here as well. But yeah, as you can see, this is the lagoon, and I think you can really say that it's working pretty good. So if we just move around and just move over it, it looks pretty nice. Oh wait, there's a big lag, and you can, okay, I mean, you can see the border over here slightly a little bit. Okay, it's auto-saving at the moment, so that's why it's a little laggy. So you can see also this corals going on over here, which is this is the only thing I'm not too happy with, because you don't have anything, you don't have a point where it's sticking out to make it look like a little bit 3D, as you can see it over here. I mean, if we go close like this, okay, you can definitely see it's not perfect. If we go underneath the water, it's even worse. There you go. But yeah, as we move out and go a little bit further away, it just looks perfect. And I think this is about it. It should look good from this angle, shouldn't it? So it should look from this angle. It does. It should look good from this angle. It definitely does. It should look good from this angle, and it definitely does. So basically, I'm really happy with how this turned out. And since we are already here, I will show you how this looks and how I did this. So if we move that one up, let's place it, you can see this is the texture, and it's appearing already a little bit more bright than it would be. So if we click away now a little bit, okay, let me just select something else. Okay, so as you can see, this is way brighter than it is below the water. You have to kind of remind yourself to the fact that the water itself is giving the entire area a little bit of darkness again, and it's also having a shader. And as you can see, just look closely to over here, how the water is moving, and it looks like as if the white reflections which are on the texture are actually on the water, and this is what creates the entire effect of this lagoon. Would be perfect. I mean, like, you could go in and make it a little bit better as well if you would make a ground texture and do this little white water reflection effect on top of it. But what I've done before I did the texture itself, and I made this custom, I blended this in. So okay, maybe we just need to bring up all of those. Wait a second, let's do this now. Let's move all 3 of those. Hopefully the game is not going to crash now. There we go. So as you can see, though, you can tell from over here already, I made this from like exactly this angle. I used the security cam for it, and I took like the picture of the lagoon, and then I blended it into this area. And you can see I took this one, copied it over a few times. There you go. I just did a little bit of bad photoshopping over here, but those areas like here and there and there and also there and also here, which look washed out, honestly it looks like I did a bad job there, which I did, but it was on purpose, because I'll show you why. Because if you go in now and for example you look from this angle, you can see that this area looks a little bit washed out, but this is what is about real water. It's not 100% perfect, because water has some, you know, there are some air bubbles in, and the water is moving. It has warmer water, colder water, which is also affecting like how the water is moving, and you will definitely have some washed out areas inside a lagoon. So this is why I made this, and moving over seems like you can tell from this angle already, this is a little bit washed out, and it looks like as if it would be moving. You see that? It's pretty hard to tell from the video footage, I guess. But I think you can tell that this looks way better than what it would look like if you would repeat this texture like perfectly sharp all over the place. I think that wouldn't make sense. So basically that's what it looks like. But yeah, so maybe we go, by the way, did I fix the time? I did, okay, because like it makes the performance a little bit better. So what we can do now, and I guess, should we do this? Okay, we do this. Let's ride the coaster, and you can see what the coaster's like, and then we can close off this episode. I will just briefly have to bring the coaster back, and please, you know, the performance will be pretty bad now. So let's just jump in. I will speed up until we are on top of the mountain. Come on, there we go. And as I said, pretty bad FPS, but here you can see now the layout at least. Wow, it's really bad. It's a really bad performance, but anyways. Dropping to 10 FPS over here, nice. Okay, there we go, inside this little area over here, having the helix where I could make the terrain a little bit more sticky to it. Oh, we have a little bit of foliage going in, there's a little bit of terrain going in, so a few things I do still have to do. Wow, that's a shabby performance over here. But yeah, then we go over here inside this little helix over here, going then back. It's not perfect. Having a little bit twisty going on over here inside the last helix over here. As I said, it's quite slow over here. I mean, you can't judge the speed too well because performance-wise the FPS are pretty bad. But then going back underneath this area into the brake run, where the performance now is killed because you get this sick look of Koali Beach. Wow, I just didn't do this before. But yeah, that's about this, and I as I said, I am quite happy. Well, I just didn't want to do that. I'm quite happy with how the mine train is at the end. And okay, maybe I'm going to show you. I mean, the layout this time wasn't completely made like, you know, YOLO. I had a little bit of a plan, and this angle over here should be like over here should be tackled. I wanted to create this like having like helixes going on over here, so that it's really, you can tell it's going over here, and you would expect to come it out somewhere over here, but you know, it's this little in and out kind of twisty thing with those helixes going on, and you know, you can tell now going in here, and then you would expect it to come out over here, but it's then coming out over here, going in here. You would expect it to come over there, you know, just this little in and out play, and have those helixes going on with the mine train. So yeah, maybe, you know what, I am putting this right up over here now. So let's end this episode, guys, over here. I will now, you have seen already the how's it called? The cinematic shots, sorry. You've seen that, and I think I won't put in any much more because the episode is already freaking long. So thanks, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks DeLadysigner and Silvarret still for having me in this amazing project. Yeah, so see you then, guys, in the next episode at Lady's channel. Bye bye.